100th production at the Spotlight Children's Theater. So this is a very special. Coincidentally, the very first production at the Spotlight Children's Theater was also Sleeping Beauty, but that was a completely different show. We've redone it. There's a new take on the show that's got a modern twist. This is a comedy, not the typical Disney style show. So the whole show is told by, actually it's a dream of a 10-year-old boy. And as his father's reading him the Grimm's fairy tales and he falls asleep. So the whole play is a concoction of everything the boy is used to in modern day period. Shrek, Star Wars, the whole gamut of what you might expect a 10-year-old to dream. So anyway, that kind of explains why everything's a little weird. Anyway, if you look through the program, you'll see a lot of sponsors, a lot of people that contributed to this. Especially want to thank Bill McBride, who the show wouldn't have happened if it weren't for him. So thank you very much. Executive director at the Spotlight Children's Theater. I got my start in theater thanks to Bill with the Tulsa Children's Theater many, many years ago. So thank you for all the years, Bill. I also want to thank David Rickle, the choreographer. Without him, he took us to a whole new level. I want to thank Sherry Webster, our costume designer, who worked tirelessly for hours and hours. Jared Underker, our stage manager. He's been stage manager at the Children's Theater for the last 97 out of the last 100 shows. So thank you. And lastly, but most importantly, is my wife, who's also a producer on this. Every time I dropped the ball as director, she would pick it up and turn it into a triple play. So Terry, thank you very much. Madison, Laura, and Jennifer, and the orchestra. Please turn off your cell phones if you haven't done so already. Don't just put them in silent mode. Turn it off if you have an iPhone. That means you press the button at the very, very top, like this. If you press the other button, it's going to activate Siri. We don't want that. But hold it in like that until you see this lever, and then slide that over, and it's going to turn it off. That way you won't get any flashing lights, no buzzing, things that will distract the actors on stage. So we really appreciate it. That being said, one last thing. After the show, when the show ends, the curtains will open. You can come up on stage and mingle with the actors if you want. We'll have some photos afterwards. Since this is our last show, you're welcome to stay around and take pictures. That being said, welcome again to the 100th production at the Spotlight Children's Theater, Sleeping Beauty, or the famous Rose Tabby.
past your bedtime.
I can't sleep.
Give me those. Hey, what did I say? You need to put your toys away and lay down.
I can't sleep. I just lie there and I can't sleep.
Maybe if you read a book before going to bed instead of playing all your video games, you'd get a good night's sleep. It would give you fantastic things to dream about.
Boring.
Don't say such a thing. Books are wonderful ways to tell stories and to pass them on to each generation. You know, when I was your age, I used to read books every night.
Boring.
Now, I am sure I can find something interesting here for you to read. There are fairy tales written by the Brothers Grimm that are quite fascinating. They were wonderful storytellers. Now let's... Cinderella. Okay. Rapunzel.
What's that about?
It's about this princess that has beautiful long hair that goes...
Next.
Snow White. Okay. Now, Hansel and Gretel is a really interesting story, but you know, now that I think about it, you probably wouldn't have very good dreams after that one.
Why not?
Well, you see, these two children were abandoned by their father because he was too poor to feed them. And then this old woman tried, oh, never mind, it's not a good one.
I think Zelda's looking pretty good right now.
Nonsense, I know. Now, here's a great classic tale.
What's it called?
Sleeping Beauty. The original name of it was Little Briar Rose. Now, lay down. Let me read a little of this. Once upon a time, there was a king and a queen who wanted to have a child. Ah, if only we had a child, said the king and the queen. But they never had one. One day, a frog leaped out of the water onto the land and said to the queen,
A frog? Seriously?
keep listening. Use your imagination. Now, just close your eyes and imagine a wonderful story in your mind. I'll start over. Once upon a time, there were a king and a queen who wanted to have a child.
If only we had a child.
But they never had one. One day, a frog leaped out of the water onto the land and said to the queen,
Your wish shall be fulfilled. Before a year has gone by, you shall have a daughter.
what the frog said came true. And the queen had a little boy who was very pretty.
I'm so happy with my precious daughter. I want to give a great feast. I shall invite all our family and friends, as well as the 13 fairies of our kingdom.
The king only had 12 golden plates for the fairies to eat out of, so one of the fairies was not invited. The feast was held with great splendor, and the fairies presented their gifts to the beautiful baby.
I give you the gift of beauty. I give you the gift of virtue. I give you the gift of riches.
Everything in the world that one could wish for. Suddenly, the 13th fairy burst into the palace, really angry.
The king's daughter, on her 16th birthday, shall prick herself with a spindle, and then drop dead! What's a spindle? Is it sharp?
A spindle is what they used to spin their wool into yarn. The tip of it was very sharp. It's as sharp as a thorn on a rose bush.
Ooh, I've done that before.
And without another word, she turned and left the palace. They were all quite shocked, but the 12th fairy, whose good wish remained unspoken, came forward. And because she could not undo the evil spell, but only soften it, she said,
My queen, it shall not be death, but a deep sleep of 100 years into which the princess shall fall.
Listen to me, all of you. I order you to burn every spindle in the whole kingdom. Nothing will happen to my little daughter.
As the years passed, the gifts of the fairies were all fulfilled. The little girl was so beautiful, modest, good-natured, and wise that everyone who met her loved her. One day, when she was 16 years old, the king and queen were not at home, and the little girl was in the palace alone. She looked everywhere in the palace, looking into room rooms and bedrooms, until at last she came to an old tower.
I've never been in this tower before. I will go and see what's up there.
She climbed the long, winding staircase until at last she came to a little door.
I wonder what's inside this room. I will take a look.
A rusty key was in the lock, and when she turned it, the door sprung open. There inside the little room sat an old woman, busily spinning her flax.
Good day, old woman. What are you doing? Oh, hello, little girl. I am spinning. What sort of thing is that? That rattles round so merrily. I want to spin too. Yes, come here. Do not be afraid. Ow!
As soon as she touched the spindle, she pricked her finger, and the evil wish was fulfilled. The little girl fell down onto the bed and into a deep sleep. The sleep extended throughout the entire palace, including the king and the queen. Many years later, a prince from a faraway country heard an old man talking about the castle.
Tell me, old man, is it true that a beautiful princess has been asleep for 100 years in that castle?
It is, Your Majesty. Many king's sons have died trying to enter.
How can that be?
There is a thorny hedge that keeps them from entering.
And do you know the name of the princess?
Her name is Briar Rose. The king and the queen and the whole court are also asleep.
I'm not afraid of that thorny hedge. I will go and see the beautiful Briar Rose.
I am warning you not to go. It is a dangerous journey, and you will probably not return alive.
You see, old man, I will come back, and Briar Rose will come back with me.
I didn't know that.
When the king's son approached the thorny hedge, it was nothing but large and beautiful flowers, which let him pass through unhurt, and then closed again behind him into a hedge.
The old man was right. Everybody's asleep. The cook and the maid, even the horses and the pigeons. Who could be so evil to do this?
The prince entered the great hall where he saw the king and queen asleep on the throne.
I must keep looking for the princess. Oh, I see a small door over there. Maybe she's there.
The prince opened the door and went into the little room where Briar Rose was sleeping.
Oh, she's as beautiful as everybody said. I have to kiss her.
And when he went to kiss her, so, can't fall asleep, eh? Good night, my son. May you have sweet dreams tonight.
for you from the king and queen.
A letter? From the king? What wonderful news! They just had a baby girl, and they want me to be its fairy godmother! Please tell them I'd be delighted, simply delighted, and I'll come visit the castle and see my godchild! Just as soon as I can pull myself together.
Very well.
Oh, I'm the happiest fairy in the whole world. It's every fairy godmother's dream to become somebody's fairy godmother, and especially to a princess. Oh, I see they're calling her Beauty, Princess Beauty. What a lovely name for my godchild. Oh, what a happy day for me. Cha-la, cha-la. This day I get to be a fairy godmother. A princess who is fair to see. Cha-la, cha-la. She is the girl for whom I'll be a fairy godmother. Anyone who's ever seen a baby's loving smile. That's why I say, what a day to make a fairy's life seem so worthwhile. Tra-la-la. Oh, what a happy day for me. Tra-la, tra-la. This day I get to be a fairy godmother. Now, let me see. What does the fairy handbook say about what I'm supposed to do to be a good fairy godmother to a princess? Ah, yes, here it is. I'm supposed to make sure that nothing bad happens to her while she's growing up, and that she develops a sweet and kind disposition and a strong sense of responsibility. And I'm supposed to make sure that when she's 16, she meets a handsome prince, falls in love with him, gets married, and lives happily ever after. Like it's gonna be easy. I'll be sure to keep her safe from harm of every kind. That's
enchanting, simply enchanting. What kind of a magic gift are you going to give her?
You know, I haven't decided yet. I'll think of something while I'm flying over to the castle. Oh, or maybe I'll wait until I get there and see if there's anything special that they need. You can't think of everything when the baby comes, you know. There's always something that you forget. Yes, I know, you know, I know.
Never mind that, I'm coming with you.
No, you're not. You haven't been invited. How do I look?
Oh, just marvelous, dearie. But don't you think you're a little old for pink? Especially in this strong sunlight.
Now, do try not to be so unpleasant. Maybe somebody will ask you to be a fairy godmother. Someday. But you'll certainly have to change a lot before that happens. Oh, but
Curses! Some fairies have all the luck. I don't understand it. What if I am mean and evil? Can people like me anyway? Is this the way it's got to be when you're born to be bad? People tell me that I'm much too scary, but I can't help it. It isn't fair. Is it my fault they all feel wearing
like it when everyone's kind, don't you?
Oh, shush, it can get on your nerves a little.
Does it, my dear queen? Then why not ask me to be the fairy godmother? I'm very seldom kind.
Speaking of nerve, will you get a load of her?
Use you for the fairy godmother? You must be joking.
Be careful what you say, my dear queen. I'm a very powerful, mean fairy with a very short temper.
Oh yes, I know you're very powerful. And mean too. Oh, but we've already made arrangements for the good fairy to be the godmother.
Think carefully, your majesty. I don't offer twice. Usually. But I'll give you another chance. Are you going to use me for the fairy godmother for your baby, or not?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I don't see how I can. I do wish I thought of you sooner, but I didn't.
Very well. I suppose it doesn't really matter. And just to show that there are no hard feelings, I'll give your daughter a magic gift anyway, if I may. May I?
No, your majesties. She can't give her a magic gift unless you say she can. Don't take it. I warn you, or you'll be sorry.
But my dear good fairy, I don't want to insult this lady. If we make her angry, she'll probably do something awful.
Your majesties, I'm warning you for the second time. Don't take her magic gift, or you'll be sorry.
Supposing it's something useful, like a blanket or a dozen monogram diapers. You can't get too many of those.
Your majesty, I'm warning you for the third time. Don't take her magic gift, or you'll be sorry. There! I've said it 3 times. And whatever I say 3 times always comes true. Yeah.
But it wouldn't be polite to refuse, or kind.
Well, your majesty, may I give your daughter, Princess Beauty, a magic gift from fairyland, or not?
Thank you very much. Yes, you may. It's very kind of you indeed.